Doctors reveal 5 foods that naturally eliminate insomnia in seniors and improve sleep quality. When the sun sets and the house grows quiet, the body should welcome rest as an old friend. Yet for many of us, as the years gather and silver crowns our heads, the night becomes less of a friend and more of a battlefield. We lie there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the ticking clock, each second reminding us of how far sleep has drifted. The body feels heavy, the mind restless, and though we long for the peace of slumber, it slips through our fingers like water. I know this struggle well, and perhaps you do too. It is not just sleeplessness, it is the loneliness of those hours, the questions that echo in the dark, the memories that return when the world is silent. Doctors have given this condition a name, insomnia. But to us who live it, it feels like something far deeper, a thief of vitality, a shadow that follows into the morning. Without sleep, the day grows harder, the bones ache, the heart tires, and even the spirit feels worn. And yet, despite its weight, insomnia is not invincible. Nature, with its quiet wisdom, still holds answers. The earth that nourishes our bodies also nourishes our nights. You see, sleep was never meant to be a stranger. It is a rhythm woven into the fabric of creation. Just as the tide returns to the shore and the seasons follow their course, the body was designed to rest, to renew, to dream. The trouble is, in modern times, we have forgotten how to listen to those rhythms. We have traded simple meals for processed foods, evening quiet for glowing screens, and the natural wisdom of the body for restless habits. But the good news is this: the remedy does not have to be complicated. It can be as simple as the food on your table. I want to share with you something remarkable. Doctors and researchers have confirmed what many of our ancestors seemed to know intuitively, that certain foods, humble and natural, have the power to guide the body back into restful sleep. They do not come in the shape of a pill or a prescription, but in the form of fruits, nuts, teas, and warm cups of comfort. These are gifts that God, through creation, has placed within reach, waiting quietly for us to rediscover them. Imagine this with me. Instead of staring at the ceiling night after night, you end your day with nourishment that gently coaxes the body into peace. You sip, you taste, you remember old rituals of care. The mind begins to soften its grip on worry, the muscles unclench, and the eyes grow heavy, not with exhaustion, but with readiness. You are no longer fighting for rest, you are welcoming it. And in that embrace, the night becomes a friend again. Now, I do not share this as a distant scholar or a voice from some ivory tower. I share it as one who has wrestled with the same long nights, as one who has learned to look back to the old ways and the wisdom of the earth. These foods are not magic, but they are medicine of a gentler kind. They remind us that healing often comes not through striving, but through returning to simplicity, returning to balance, returning to the gifts already given. Tonight, and in the nights to come, you may discover that sleep is not lost to you. With the right nourishment, with patience, with trust, the body can relearn its rhythms. Think of these foods as companions, walking with you into the stillness of the night, helping you remember that rest is not something you must chase. It is something that will find you if only you open the door. And so, with that in mind, let us journey together through 5 foods, ordinary, familiar, yet extraordinary in their power to restore peace to the night. They are not merely remedies for insomnia. They are reminders of the bond between our bodies and the earth, between health and simplicity, between rest and wisdom. Stay with me, and let us see how these gifts can help you reclaim the gentle, healing sleep you deserve. Let us begin with the first of these gifts, one that has been quietly working its wonders for centuries, though we rarely stop to notice it. The cherry. Not just any cherry, but the tart variety, the kind that carries a slight sharpness on the tongue, reminding you that life's sweetest things often come with a little edge. Long before laboratories and clinical trials, people noticed how cherries seemed to carry within them a quiet magic. They were seen as treasures of summer, their deep red skins like drops of evening sun, holding within them a promise of calm. Doctors today will tell you what our ancestors may not have been able to explain, but certainly understood. Cherries, especially tart cherries, are one of the richest natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that governs our sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is like the conductor of an orchestra, guiding every instrument of the body into harmony when it is time for rest. Without it, the symphony becomes noise, restless, unsteady. But when melatonin flows freely, the body begins to prepare for night, the heart rate slows, the temperature drops, and the mind softens. A handful of tart cherries or a small glass of tart cherry juice in the evening can gently signal to the body, it is time to rest. I recall nights when sleep seemed far away, when my thoughts would not let go of the day. A friend once pressed a small cup of cherry juice into my hand and said, "Drink this before bed." It is like drinking the sunset. I smiled at the poetry of it, but later, as I lay down, I realized he was right. The rest that came was not heavy or drugged, but natural, as though I had been reminded of something my body already knew. Cherries do not force sleep upon you, they invite it, like an old friend knocking softly at your door. So if you struggle with nights that stretch too long, consider bringing cherries into your evening. Not too much, just a handful or a small cup. Let their natural sweetness remind you that the earth provides what we need. It is a small act, but sometimes the smallest acts hold the greatest power. And then there are walnuts, the second gift I want to share with you. A nut so humble and yet so wise. Do you remember, perhaps from long ago, sitting by the fire while someone cracked open walnuts with strong, patient hands? The sound of the shell breaking, the reward of the meat inside, rich and satisfying. It seemed simple then, just a snack, just something to enjoy. But within that wrinkled shell lies nourishment not only for the body, but for the mind and soul. Doctors point out that walnuts contain omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and even small amounts of melatonin. Each of these plays its part in calming the body. Magnesium relaxes tense muscles, omega-3s support the brain and reduce inflammation, and melatonin signals the body to rest. Look closely at a walnut, and you may notice it resembles the human brain. Many cultures saw that as no coincidence, believing that walnuts were food for the mind. Modern science, in its careful way, has confirmed what that old wisdom guessed. Walnuts truly do nurture the brain, easing the very pathways that lead to peaceful rest. I think of walnuts as little lanterns for the night, carrying within them both strength and serenity. When eaten in the evening, perhaps just a small handful, they do not weigh you down like sugary snacks or heavy meals. Instead, they prepare you gently, making space for calm, for quiet, for the surrender of sleep. They remind us that rest is not about shutting down, it is about renewal. So there you have two companions already, cherries with their sunset sweetness and walnuts with their steady calm. Together, they teach us that nature does not shout its wisdom, it whispers. And if we learn to listen, even in something as ordinary as fruit and nuts, we find keys that unlock the door to peaceful sleep once again. Now let us turn to the third gift, one that carries with it both the warmth of childhood memories and the healing touch of ancient tradition, warm milk. How many of us remember a time, perhaps when we were small, when our mothers or grandmothers pressed a cup of warm milk into our hands at night? The house quiet, the day done, and there we were, sipping something simple and soothing before bed. It was more than nourishment, it was comfort. And sometimes, the comfort was enough to ease us into sleep. Doctors tell us that milk contains tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body produce serotonin, which later converts into melatonin, the very hormone that regulates our sleep cycle. But milk alone is not the whole story. Across generations and cultures, people discovered that when combined with certain spices, its effect on the body and mind deepens. And so enters turmeric, that golden root that has been treasured in kitchens and apothecaries for centuries. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound known for reducing inflammation and calming the body. For seniors who may carry the aches of arthritis or the weariness of joints and muscles, this simple spice can be a gentle balm. But when stirred into warm milk, something remarkable happens. It creates what many call golden milk, a drink that soothes both body and spirit. Imagine ending your evening not with pills or television noise, but with a warm cup of golden milk cradled in your hands. The warmth spreads through your chest. The earthy taste settles your thoughts, and slowly the body understands. It is time to let go. This is not merely a drink, it is a ritual, and rituals matter. They teach the body to expect peace, to prepare for rest. A nightly cup of golden milk is like wrapping your soul in a soft blanket, one that carries not only nutrition but memory, tradition, and love. And then, as we continue, we arrive at the fourth gift, chamomile tea. A drink so humble, yet so timeless, it has been called the tea of calm for centuries. Chamomile is not new. It was steeped by the Egyptians, recommended by ancient healers, and poured by grandmothers the world over. When the body is weary, but the mind is restless, chamomile speaks to us in whispers, not commands. It does not knock us into sleep like a drug. It guides us there, hand in hand. Science now tells us what tradition long observed. Chamomile contains apigenin, a compound that binds to receptors in the brain, gently reducing anxiety and encouraging sleep. But beyond the science lies something more personal. Drinking chamomile feels like being cared for. It is a cup that tells you, you are safe now. The day is over. You can rest. I often think of chamomile as a grandmother's hand upon your shoulder, firm enough to reassure you, gentle enough to calm you. And perhaps that is why it has endured, why people still reach for it even in this age of prescriptions and quick fixes. Because chamomile does not just treat the body, it nurtures the soul. A warm cup of chamomile tea, taken an hour before bed, can become more than a remedy. It can be an invitation to slow down, to breathe, to step away from the noise of the world. In that quiet space, the heart rate slows, the muscles soften, and the eyes begin to grow heavy. So we have golden milk, rich with nourishment and tradition, and chamomile tea, steeped in comfort and calm. Both remind us that the path to sleep is not about force, but about surrender. It is not about conquering the night, but about welcoming it. These gifts, when embraced, can help us remember what the body has always known, that rest is not a luxury, but a rhythm, a gift, a necessity written into our very being. And so we come to the fifth and final gift, the banana. At first glance, it may seem too ordinary to hold such power. After all, bananas are found in nearly every kitchen, often overlooked as just a simple fruit to start the morning or quiet a quick hunger. But here, too, lies a quiet wisdom. Sometimes the most familiar things carry the deepest secrets. Bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, minerals that help relax tense muscles and calm restless nerves. For many seniors, the body holds on to tension, stiffness in the legs, tightness in the shoulders, an ache in the back that makes it difficult to fall asleep. The banana speaks to this need. It eases the body from the inside, loosening what has been clenched all day. And within its sweet flesh also rests tryptophan, the same sleep-promoting compound found in warm milk. When eaten in the evening, the banana becomes a natural lullaby, simple yet effective, coaxing the body into rest without complication. Think of it this way. While heavy meals or sugary desserts can leave the body restless, a half banana before bed is light, comforting, and nourishing. It tells your system, you are cared for, you have enough, you can let go now. In its simplicity lies its strength. No complicated preparation, no ritual required, just the small act of peeling and eating, a humble gift from nature that delivers peace. I remember sitting at the table late one night, unable to sleep, when my grandmother placed a banana before me. She did not offer explanations. She simply said, "Eat this, and rest will come." At the time, I thought little of it, but not long after, my body softened, and sleep arrived quietly. Years later, I understand what she knew without needing to know the science. Sometimes the earth itself places the answer right in our hands. And so we have walked together through 5 foods, 5 gentle companions for the night. Cherries, with their sunset sweetness, guiding the body's rhythms. Walnuts, with their steady calm, feeding the mind into peace. Golden milk, warm and healing, reminding us of ritual and comfort. Chamomile tea, soothing the spirit with the gentleness of a grandmother's touch. And bananas, humble yet powerful, relaxing the body into surrender. What ties them together is not just science, though that supports their gifts. What ties them together is their simplicity. None of these are foreign or complicated. They do not ask for wealth or rare ingredients. They are foods that many of us have known all our lives, waiting quietly for us to remember their power. Insomnia, as heavy as it feels, is not invincible. It does not own the night. The body, given the right nourishment and respect, can return to its natural rhythms. But rest is not only physical, it is also spiritual. To sleep is to trust that tomorrow will come. To sleep is to accept that we are not in control of every moment, that it is safe to let go. So tonight, when you prepare for rest, consider welcoming one of these gifts into your evening. Do not see them as remedies only, but as reminders that sleep is not lost, that peace is not beyond you, that nature and wisdom are still with you. Let the cherries, the walnuts, the golden milk, the chamomile, and the banana become your gentle guides. And when you finally close your eyes, may you find not just sleep, but renewal. May your rest be deep. May your dreams be kind, and may you wake with strength in your body and light in your spirit. For sleep is not merely the end of the day, it is the beginning of tomorrow. And tomorrow waits for you, restored, renewed, and ready.